What if I told you that the world's biggest fast food company didn't become rich because of hamburgers? Today, McDonald's serves millions of customers every day in more than 100 countries. Most people think its success came from the Big Mac, French fries, or clever advertising, but they're wrong. The real secret was hidden in a business strategy so powerful that many experts say McDonald's isn't really a restaurant company at all. It's one of the largest real estate businesses in the world. That strategy transformed a small roadside hamburger stand into a global empire worth billions of dollars. But none of it would have happened without two brothers searching for a faster way to serve food, and a struggling 52-year-old salesman who saw an opportunity that everyone else overlooked. This is the incredible story of how McDonald's changed the way the world eats forever. Long before the Golden Arches became one of the most recognizable symbols in the world, America was going through a transformation. In the early 1900s, eating at a restaurant was still considered a luxury. Most families prepared every meal at home, and restaurants were mostly reserved for special occasions or long road trips. But America was changing. Henry Ford's affordable Model T put millions of people behind the wheel for the first time. As highways stretched across the country, families traveled farther than ever before. Along those roads, a new type of business began to appear: gas stations, motels, and drive-in restaurants, all competing to serve the growing number of travelers. It seemed like the perfect business, but behind the scenes, almost every drive-in restaurant suffered from the same problems. Customers waited too long. Menus were overloaded with choices. Orders were frequently wrong. Food was wasted. Costs kept rising. And slow service frustrated both customers and owners. Most restaurant owners accepted these problems as normal. Two brothers refused to. Richard and Maurice McDonald believed there had to be a better way. Instead of copying other restaurants, they looked somewhere completely different for inspiration: factory assembly lines. What they built was revolutionary. Every employee performed one specific task. Instead of one cook preparing an entire order, each worker became an expert at a single job. Burgers moved through the kitchen almost like cars moving through an assembly line. The result was incredible. Food was prepared faster. Mistakes became rare. Costs dropped. And customers received the same meal every single time. The brothers called it the speedy service system. Without realizing it, they had invented a system that would completely transform the restaurant industry. But even they couldn't imagine how big their idea would become, because hundreds of miles away, a struggling salesman was about to discover their little restaurant and change its future forever. When Ray Kroc first walked into the McDonald Brothers restaurant in San Bernardino, he expected to see a busy hamburger stand. Instead, he witnessed something that completely changed the way he thought about business. Customers lined up outside the restaurant, yet the line moved surprisingly fast. Orders were prepared in seconds, mistakes were almost non-existent, and every hamburger looked exactly the same. The kitchen operated with the precision of a factory, but the food was fresh and inexpensive. Most people would have admired the restaurant and gone home. Ray Kroc saw something much bigger. He didn't see one successful restaurant. He saw a system that could be duplicated hundreds, even thousands of times across America. Soon after meeting the McDonald brothers, Ray convinced them to let him franchise their business. In 1955, he opened his first McDonald's franchise in Des Plaines, Illinois, under a new company called McDonald's System, Inc. For Ray, opening one restaurant was never the goal. It was only the beginning. As new franchise owners joined the company, Ray quickly noticed a dangerous problem. Many wanted to change the menu. Others wanted to use cheaper ingredients, reduce quality, or ignore company rules to increase profits. Most business owners would have accepted those changes. Ray refused. He believed customers should receive the exact same experience every time they walked into a McDonald's, whether they were in Illinois, California, or any future location. To protect that promise, he introduced strict operating standards covering everything from cooking procedures and food portions to cleanliness, packaging, and customer service. Some franchise owners thought the rules were too strict, but those rules became one of McDonald's greatest competitive advantages. Customers always knew exactly what to expect. That trust kept them coming back again and again. Even with growing popularity, McDonald's faced one major problem. Expansion required money, opening new restaurants was expensive, and relying only on franchise fees wasn't enough to build the nationwide company Ray imagined. Then financial expert Harry J. Sonneborn proposed an idea that would completely transform the business. Instead of allowing franchise owners to purchase their own land, McDonald's would buy or lease the property first. The franchise owner would build and operate the restaurant. McDonald's would own or control the land beneath it. At first, it sounded like a simple financial strategy. In reality, it became the foundation of one of the most successful business models ever created. The company now earned income not only from franchise fees, but also from rent. Even more importantly, controlling the land gave McDonald's tremendous influence over every restaurant in the system. If a franchise owner failed to meet company standards, McDonald's had the power to protect its brand. Most people believed McDonald's was building a hamburger empire. Ray Kroc knew he was quietly building a real estate empire that happened to sell hamburgers. By the early 1960s, McDonald's was growing faster than almost anyone had expected, but Ray Kroc knew something important. Competitors could copy the hamburgers. They could copy the fries. They could even copy the restaurant layout. What they couldn't easily copy was the system behind the business. To protect that advantage, Ray invested in something many companies ignored. In 1961, McDonald's opened Hamburger University in Elk Grove Village, Illinois. Despite its unusual name, it wasn't a school for cooking hamburgers. It was a training center where future franchise owners, managers, and employees learned exactly how a McDonald's restaurant should operate. Every detail mattered: food safety, customer service, kitchen organization, cost control, quality standards. Nothing was left to chance. The goal was simple. No matter where a customer visited a McDonald's, the experience should feel exactly the same. That consistency became one of the company's greatest competitive advantages. Training alone wasn't enough. To serve millions of customers, McDonald's also needed one of the most reliable supply chains in the industry. The company partnered with carefully selected suppliers who agreed to meet strict quality standards for every ingredient, from beef and potatoes to buns, vegetables, and packaging. Inside the kitchens, every workstation was carefully designed for speed. Each employee specialized in a specific task. New equipment reduced mistakes, increased efficiency, and allowed restaurants to serve more customers than ever before. Everything worked together like a perfectly synchronized machine. To customers, it looked effortless. Behind the scenes, every second had been carefully planned. Ray Kroc understood something many businesses didn't. Making great food wasn't enough. People had to remember the brand. Throughout the 1960s, McDonald's invested heavily in advertising. The Golden Arches quickly became one of the most recognizable symbols in America. Then, in 1963, the company introduced a character that millions of children would never forget: Ronald McDonald. More than just a mascot, Ronald transformed McDonald's into a place where families created memories, not just meals. Parents came for convenience. Children came for Ronald. The result was one of the most powerful family brands in history. As McDonald's expanded, competitors rushed to copy its success. Many introduced larger menus, hoping more choices would attract more customers. Ray Kroc took the opposite approach. Instead of adding products simply to increase variety, every new menu item had to solve a real customer problem while fitting perfectly into the company's fast and efficient operating system. If an idea slowed the kitchen or complicated operations, it didn't matter how creative it was. It never made the menu. That discipline allowed McDonald's to keep improving without sacrificing the speed and consistency that made customers trust the brand. By the mid-1960s, McDonald's had become one of America's fastest-growing restaurant chains. For many companies, conquering the United States would have been enough. For Ray Kroc, it was only the first step. He believed that if the McDonald's system worked in one city, it could work almost anywhere in the world. But expanding internationally wasn't as simple as copying American restaurants. Every country had different cultures, traditions, and eating habits. Instead of forcing the same menu on everyone, McDonald's made a smarter decision. The system would stay the same. The menu could adapt. In 1967, the company opened its first restaurant outside the United States in Richmond, British British Columbia, Canada. From there, McDonald's expanded into Japan, Germany, Australia, the Netherlands, Puerto Rico, and dozens of other countries. Each new market taught the company something new. In India, where many people don't eat beef, McDonald's introduced vegetarian options like the Makalu Tikki Burger. In Japan, customers enjoyed the Teriyaki McBurger. In many Muslim countries, restaurants served halal-certified food. The recipes changed. The experience never did. No matter where customers visited a McDonald's, they expected fast service, clean restaurants, friendly staff, and consistent quality. That balance between global consistency and local adaptation became one of the company's greatest strengths. Soon, the Golden Arches weren't just an American symbol. They had become a global one. As McDonald's expanded around the world, Ray Kroc stayed true to one simple philosophy: never add a product unless it solves a real problem. That philosophy shaped some of the most famous menu items in history. In 1962, franchise owner Lou Groen noticed that many Catholic customers avoided meat on Fridays, causing sales to fall. His solution was the Filet-O-Fish. Ray Kroc wasn't convinced at first, but after testing the sandwich, customers loved it. It became a permanent menu item. A few years later, another franchise owner, Jim Delegati, noticed competitors attracting customers with larger burgers. His answer became the Big Mac. Introduced in 1967 and expanded nationwide in 1968, it quickly became one of the world's most recognizable hamburgers. Then came breakfast. In the early 1970s, Herb Peterson created the Egg McMuffin, giving McDonald's access to an entirely new part of the day. Breakfast soon became one of the company's biggest businesses. The innovation continued. In 1979, the Happy Meal transformed family dining by combining food with a toy, creating memories that millions of children still remember today. Then in 1983, Chicken McNuggets gave customers another popular alternative to hamburgers and became an instant success. Every one of these products followed the same rule. If it improved the customer experience without slowing down the system, it stayed. If it didn't, it disappeared. That discipline kept McDonald's innovative without ever sacrificing the speed and consistency that made it famous. Today, McDonald's operates more than 40,000 restaurants across over 100 countries, serving millions of customers every single day. But its success was never built on hamburgers alone. The McDonald brothers revolutionized restaurant operations with the speedy service system. Ray Kroc recognized its potential and transformed it into a business empire. Harry Sonneborn helped create a real estate model that generated billions of dollars. Franchise owners introduced products that solved real customer problems. Together, they built something no competitor has ever fully copied. A business where every restaurant, every employee, every supplier, and every customer experience worked together as one system. That was the real secret. Not the fries, not the Big Mac, not even the Golden Arches. The system. The story of McDonald's isn't really about fast food. It's about seeing opportunities that others ignore. It's about solving problems instead of accepting them. It's about building systems instead of relying on shortcuts. And it's about understanding that the greatest businesses aren't always created by inventing something completely new. Sometimes, they're built by taking an ordinary idea and executing it better than anyone else. More than 80 years after two brothers opened a small roadside restaurant in San Bernardino, McDonald's has become far more than one of the world's biggest restaurant chains. It has become one of the greatest business success stories ever told, and that may be the most valuable lesson of all.